go, when you're doing algebraic stuff, you normally ask to factorize, expand, simplify. Okay. When you're dealing with algebraic fractions, you can just simplify without factorizing, but the first one is easy enough to do that. The second one is not. So what we're going to do is we're going to factorize it first. If you have a look at this and you've got a fraction, an algebraic fraction, have a look at it, see what you can factorize, then worry about simplifying. Once you've got it factorized, it's actually in a simpler form, and it'll be easier to see what you can simplify, what can cancel out. Cool? Don't forget, fractions are just another way of writing division. Okay, so you've basically got 4x plus 2 divided by 2. Okay, but it's all of the 4x plus 2. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to factorize first. So if you look at this one, 4x plus 2, how can you factorize that? Don't look at the denominator at the moment because there's nothing to factorize. Let's worry about the numerator. 4x plus 2. How do we factorize it? Yeah, so we're going to pull out a common factor. And you reckon 2 is going to come out. So what's that leave you? 2x, yeah. Plus 1 over 2. Now what can I do to simplify? Take out the 2, cancel the 2's. You've got 2 times something, I don't care what the something is, divided by 2. So that 2 and that 2 cancel each other out, which leaves you with, and that's it. That is the process. They're obviously not quite as, they're not all quite as simplistic as that, but they're not really more difficult. Do you like the way I didn't even use the solution section? That was impressive. Sometimes I wonder. All right. Give you plenty of room. Stop whining. When you say they, you mean me, right? I do everything. All right. The next one, we are also going to factorize and then cancel. Now, this is going to trip up a couple of people because you weren't here. That top one, the numerator. You can't pull out a common factor. What can you do? Sorry? You can't really do grouping in pairs because it's a trinomial. Okay? Yes, the x cubed negative 8 we can do. What is it? Excellent. So x cubed is a cube, 8 is a cube, and there's a minus in between them, which makes it a difference of 2 cubes. And on your formula sheet or in your book, you should have how to factorize a difference of 2 cubes. Yeah, in that little guy. What page? Difference of 2 cubes. 27? Cool. Read out difference of 2 cubes. Excellent, which means we can rewrite the denominator of that in that form. Okay, because it's a difference of 2 cubes. Okay, so I've underlined it in green. So the whole thing is you need to recognize these. The difference of 2 cubes is on a formula sheet that you're given, but you need to recognize that it is a difference of 2 cubes. Jess, you recognized it straight away. The 8 is 2 cubed. X is cubed. We're all good. We've got a negative in between them. Let's do it. So we rewrite that. Oh, what is the cube root of x cubed? It's the obvious answer. What do you have to cube to get x cubed? Yeah, that's what I say. When I say what's the cube root, it's like what do I have to cube to get x cubed? And what do I have to cube to get 8? Cool, so the cube root of 8 is 2. Cool. So we end up with x minus 2, x squared, plus 2x, yes, it is. Okay, so that's your denominator done. Now we have to do the numerator. Now, for those of you who weren't here, there is a method we use because you can't pull out a common factor. Would you agree? 2 and a 3 and a 2. You can't. There's nothing common to them. You can't group by pairs. There's only the 3 terms. Okay? So we have to use a different method. Who was here? No, it wasn't Tuesday. I was Crook Tuesday. It was the day you were doing squash. It was Friday because you came in as we were finishing it. Product, sum, factor. Now, problem is we're not dealing with a monic. We've got a 2 there. It's a non-monic, which means we've got an extra step in there, basically. So, I'm not going to do the cross method because I think everyone went, ugh. Non-monic means the coefficient of x squared is more than 1. Monic, means 1. Sorry? Yeah, guess and check. It's my favourite. All right, so let's do this product sum factor. So, what's our product going to be? Is it? It's not 8. It's not 2. It's not negative 2. It's not 3x. Okay, now you're just throwing things out there. Nah. Go back in your booklets to when we did it. Nah. Why 4? Hang it. 2 squared times negative 2.
Oh, why? Minus 3.
6 times 5 equals...
Close. Possibly, but we haven't got to that bit yet. You've jumped steps. We need to find out the product. All. Oh, no, there's a couple of you not, because they're extension. So you'll be doing all of them. I'm going to get rid of the x. I don't like having the x in there, and it doesn't really matter. 2 times minus 2 is minus 4. Our product is minus 4. There. Yeah, I don't want to. No, it's a times. Not really. What we're working out, guys, you're getting caught up on things, and like I said, for those of you who weren't here, you have to go back and catch it up. There's videos, there's this file that you've got access to from home. You need to go back to it. I know. If we go back to... What was it? Page 22. It looks confusing. Now, when we did it, like if I did this, okay, just watch this for a sec. I've only got like 6 minutes left on this video. So if I did this, x squared plus 3x plus 2. And I said, right, I need that factorized. What would you do? See, this is where people who weren't here, you need to catch it up. It's a monic one, but I still use the PSF method, correct? So what does my product have to be? It just has to be 2, doesn't it? This is why I'm not putting the y squared in that, because I don't really care about the x squared in this particular case. Yes, it'd be 2 times the x squared gives you 2x squared, but I'm not really worried about that. I just want the numbers at the moment. Sorry? Sum is 3. So what are my factors of 2? Cool. and then they can add together. So when I factorise this, it's going to be that. Okay? So I've got that from these two factors, which were based on that product and that sum. So I had to find two numbers that multiply together to give me 2 and add together to give me 3. Cool? Had to find that. If I change these numbers, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, and get rid of that, and go with a blue pen would be good. 24 and make that 13. What's my product?
24.
Cool. What's my sum?
13.
Cool. What are my factors of 12?
2 and 6.
Let's go. 1, 24. Actually, I've screwed that up. 1 and 24. 2 and 12. 3 and 8. 4 and 6. Okay? I have to pick which pair of these, well, they all multiply together to give me 24 because I use the factors. But which ones add up to give me 12? This is why I try not to make these up on the fly. Okay, which ones add up to give me 11? 8 and 3. So I can't use 1 and 24 because they'd add up to give me 25. 2 and 12 would give me 14. 4 and 6 would give me 10. 3 and 8, however, give me 11. So I'm left with x plus 3, x plus 8. Does that make sense? Not really, because the factors are based on the product. So it's always the factors of 24. Okay, is that all right? Now, the issue we've got with the one down here, it doesn't work in this software. Different software. The issue with the one we've got down here is it's not monic. Those ones we did were monic. They had a 1 in front of the x squared. Cool? This one is non-monic. It's got a 5. So our product is different. You think about when we put it into brackets, we're going to have something that looks like A, B. I don't know what they are. But when we do FOIL, you're going to have 5 times, or 5y times B. Does that make sense? And then you're going to have, so you're multiplying it by that number out the front as well, that non-monic number, the coefficient of the y squared or the x squared. Does that make sense? Okay, so when we go back to our proper page, which was page what? 32? Wow, it was too far. 32, go back to that, scroll down. We have a non-monic. So what we have to do is we have to multiply, and if you'd like, I will put in the 2x squared, and that will come out as that. Okay, so, but that's why we're doing the 2 times the minus 2. In the last ones, in the monic ones, we just did the product was minus 2, correct? But in this one, because we've got a non-monic, we have to times it by the 2. Cool? All right. So what's our sum got to be? Our sum's still -3. But I tend to not put the letters because it just confuses me. Is that all right? I really don't like having the letters there. I'm just not a fan. And I'll probably get yelled at on YouTube for that. But anyway, I prefer that. Sorry? Use what? In the answer we will, but not yet. So what do? What's our factors? Our factors have to be of -4. So we got 1 and 4 and 2 and 2. Okay? Now, we have to have a sum that is a negative. So we've got -4 plus 1 would give us -3. And would also multiply together to give us a negative number. Is that all right? Okay, I'm going to have to pause this because I'm going to run out of time.